This is Thursday. Can you believe another week almost done? It's amazing. Wake up, Bella. Wait, it's Thursday, the 16th of January, 2020. We are on page 303, I believe. We got to move fast because we are way behind. A number is at least 5. Simply X is greater than or equal to 5. Because it's got to be at least 5. So it could be 5 or it could be greater. Just catch up, Zacchaeus. Absorb yourself. I already said 303. Wake up. You just got to kind of, Zacchaeus, you have to kind of merge into traffic. You know what I'm saying? You ever been in the car with your parents and getting on the freeway? Yeah. Merge right into traffic there and pick up where we're at. All right. If you're like Cam, she doesn't pay attention at all. She has no idea where she's at. And then it's going to be time for her to drive. She's not going to know where to go. Do you have any idea the names of the roads?
I'm not going to.
Does anybody pay attention? Could you, at 14 or 13 years old, get home if you had to? Cut. Dina, you don't count. You're right there. All right, number 2. Number 2. A number plus 5 is greater than 9. So, whatever letter you want to use, add 5 to it, greater than sign 9. Number 3. 8 minus a number is at most 6. Okay, this one sounds a little more confusing. 8 minus a number is at most 6. 8 minus a number, I chose N this time, is at most 6. So it could be 6, but it can't be more than 6. So it's less than or equal to 6. It's less than or equal to 6. If you didn't get that, fix that. That one was a little more confusing language. This is number 3. 8 minus a number is at most 6. It can't be more than 6. It can be equal to 6 or less. Everybody okay with that one? Number 4. 4 times a number is less than 28. That one's a little more clear. 4 times a number is less than 28. Okay, now number 5, even though they walked you through it, did you understand how they walked you through it? Let's read the story problem together, shall we? You read it to yourself as I read it aloud. Wait, you guys, even in 5th grade, didn't even have that test, did you? When did we start the Terra Novas? We started, you were in 5th at Terra Novas. The old testing we used to do way back when you were in 1st grade, called Stanford testing. They used to have a listening section, and I always thought it was weirdly fun to read the directions exactly as I was supposed to read them every time, even though it was redundant and seemed strange to you. Yeah, but anyway, so read this to yourself. Ready? You have $200 to spend. Because you are wise and you budget your money, you don't just go willy-nilly spending it haphazardly on things and then have none left. So in your budget, you've got $200 to spend on health club membership. Now, for the health club that you want to join, because it's nice and convenient, it's $50 membership fee, and every month you got to pay $32. How many months can you go to this health club before your $200 is used up? How many months can you go to the health club? Well, as they guided you, you've got the $50 fee up front, and you have to let M equal number of months. So that's what you do. You got the $50 fee up front. You got to add to that. How much is it each month? $32 each month. Now here's the key. What does it have to be less than? you only have $200. Could it be equal to 200?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have 200 to spend, so that total has to be less than or equal to 200. And now that you've got your problem, you use your basic elements of algebra, combining like terms, adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing both sides by whatever it takes to get m by itself. So you would subtract 50 from both sides, and you would get 32m is less than or equal to 150. And then you would divide both sides by 32. And you would get m is less than or equal to, and you would get 4 point something, but you wouldn't get 5, right? So wait, since you got as an answer 4 point something, how many months could you be a member? You couldn't be a member for that 5th month. Everybody pay attention. Even though you would round it to 5 months, if you were rounding it off, it's 4.8, 4.69. Even though you round it off to 5, you can't be a member 5 months because you can't. They won't let you pay for part of a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could pay for the 4 months, and if you don't have enough to pay that $32, you can't go that 5th month. So the answer to this is 4. You can go 4 months. Everybody got it? Okay, let's continue on to page 304. We're going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're going to jump down to 17. 6, 7, 8, 9, jump down to 17. This is not homework. This is like we're doing this now, and our goal is to be done in 9 minutes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 17. So as usual, you're going to start working. I'm going to start doing them on the board. You're going to do them before I get it on the board so that you can affirm your answer or see where you went wrong. Oh, by the way, in 6, 7, 8, and 9, not only do you have to write the inequality, then they want you to solve it.
Seriously?
Hey, but you don't have to graph it, so be happy about that.
See that again? We have to solve it. Or work it out.
Oh,
I'm going to do them on the board, but
I have a question.
yeah.
What's an inequality? Forget.
An inequality is a statement that's not an equation. For instance, look, 4 plus 2 equals 6 is an equation. Why? Look, what's that? It's an equal sign. That makes it an equation. Four plus 2 is less than 7 is another statement, and it's a inequality because it's not equal. It's less than.
Oh, man.
That's all. Noah, if you've been carrying around that question, you should have asked that a long time ago. But I'm glad you asked it now. An inequality is something it's a statement. It's still a true statement, but it's not an equation. It's an inequality. the prefix in makes it not, right?
Yeah.
They're not equal. It's less than or it's greater than. Does that make sense? All right, I'm about to do 6 on the board, and then I'll do 7, 8, and 9, and hopefully you'll be done with 7, 8, and 9 by the time I get them done.
I don't know how to do 8.
Well, you'll see.
I figured it out.
You gotta give it a shot, though.
Oh wait, I still have to do 17. 8 times all
A number, it doesn't matter what letter you use.
plus 2 is less than or greater than.
A number plus 2 is at most
It's more than or greater than 6. Or less than.
is at most 6. This number plus 2 could be 6, but it can't be more. Now you gotta solve it. You subtract 2 from both sides, so x is less than or equal to 4. That's number 6. So make sure you do the second part. A number plus 2 is at most. It can be 6, but it can't be more. It can be less. So x has to be less than or equal to 4. And by the way, when we've been graphing these with the number line, you should have been understanding that there are many answers to this problem. Do you understand that? There's a word out there called domain. There is a infinite number of answers to that problem. See, an equation, Noah, has usually one definite answer. The answer to this inequality is 3, 2, negative 16, negative 184.3, negative 2 million, negative 6 billion. Those are all answers, possible solutions to this problem. Because as long as the answer is 4 or less, those all fit that inequality.
I think I did 8.
So there isn't one answer. That's why when we do the number line, there's an arrow that indicates it goes on forever, to the left and to the right. All right, here comes number 7. 9 is less than a number plus 1. 9 is, so I'm not going to put an equal sign because it's an inequality. Is usually equal sign. 9 is less than a number plus 1. You got that part down.
Yes. No.
Now I got to solve it. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. So n, watch how this works. Right now it says n plus 1 is greater than 9, even though I wrote 9 is less than a number plus 1. It's also true that a number plus 1 is greater than 9. So I'm going to write n is greater than 8. Does everybody get that?
Yes.
I subtracted 1 from both sides. I don't know what all the extra chatter is, but focus and ask questions as they arise. I subtracted 1 from both sides, so now it's 8 is less than n. Well, that's the same as n is greater than me.
Did you say that?
Yes. Number 8. Is there anybody done with 17 as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go faster. 7 less than a number is more than 14. 7, it doesn't say 7 minus a number. It says 7 less than a number is more than 14. 7 less than that number is more than 14. Solve it. Add 7 to both sides. X is greater than 21. So far, so good? Number 9. 8 times a number is at least 40. 8 times a number, you write that right next to it, is at least 40, so it could be equal, and it could be greater. There is 6, 7, 8, 9. Solve it by dividing both sides by 8. N is greater than or equal to 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, page 304. Questions going once. Going twice. Gone.
I want.
But not forever, because if you have a question, you can still ask it. Don't be shy, don't be proud. You're looking around and everybody seems to get it, and you're like, I don't get it, but I don't want to raise my hand. Everybody's going to think I'm stupid. The only stupid question is there anything? Okay, it's not a lie. Here comes 17. Okay, you got these weekly dances. You could become a member of this club for $30. And every dance, you have to pay $4 to get in. If you don't become a member, every dance, you have to pay $6 to get in. You want to know, the question's asking, how many dances do you have to go to make paying that $30 up front worth it? So here's what you want to find out. You want to find out at what point $30 plus how much is each ticket if you paid a $30 up front? $4. So if we say X equals number of dances or tickets, so we say 4 times the number of dances. What do we want to find out? We want to see at what point that would be at what point would this be greater than the 6 times the tickets? Because if you don't pay this $30, it's going to be $6 a ticket. Does that make sense? Or it could be greater than or equal to. Again, it's like yesterday. It doesn't matter which way you go, greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. You want to know. Again, extra chatter. You got $30 fee, $4 a ticket. At what point is that greater than just paying the $6 every time? Don't worry about the fee. I got to subtract 4x from both sides. So now I got 2x. Or actually, I wanted to be, wait a minute.
Because that's how many times 6 would be more than.
It doesn't matter which way you go, because it'll still be the same thing. It just depends on, do you want it to be a membership or the not membership being less than or greater than or less than. So the question specifically is asking, how many dances do you have to attend so becoming a member will cost less? So the becoming a member costs less. If the question had asked, how many dances do you have to attend so that not being a member costs less, it would be different. I didn't read the question specific enough. So X is greater than 15. You have to go to at least 15 dances, or more than 15 dances, to make it worth not paying the $30. Or make it worth paying the $30.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? To make it worth paying the $30, you'd have to go to more than 15 dances. So again, like yesterday, you got your schedule out there, you're like, I can't go to very many of these dances. Why would I pay $30? Unless I'm going to go to most of the dances, almost all of them. Then paying $30, you end up saving money in the long run. Okay, your homework, even though it's titled Quiz 2, it's really just homework, page 307. What's that tell you? If you're looking ahead, tomorrow, part 1 of Chapter 6 review. Tuesday, part 2 of Chapter 6 review. Wednesday, test.
We haven't tested
Oh, man.
Why do you have that? Where's your whining thing? Bro, where's your
Right here,
crying
it's going.
thing?
I know. I don't have
You don't have crying thing.
Who you guys play Tuesday?
We play, yeah, we play.
I can play as many
That's not it.
I wonder if my favorite color will be gold.
We play Seabrail.
Review quiz 2. You should be doing that now, Brett, so that if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. All right. The formula is always C equals pi times D. The circumference of any circle is always equal to pi times its diameter. So you can't find out the circumference unless you know the diameter. Or maybe they'll give you the radius, in which case they also give you the diameter, because the diameter is always 2 times the radius. Did you follow all that? Okay. So for number 1, it's the regular formula C equals pi times D, because you want to know what C is. So what is C? It's pi, and they give you a diameter of 28. I think using 22 over 7 is going to make this easier, because look what happens, Carol.
Yeah, that's what I did. I know it.
Yes. So number 1 is on the board. Oh, you got to be precise. Stop.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, because you did decimal. Okay. Shh. Listen, if you were to use the decimal, you would get 87.92. Which is more precise, fraction or decimal? Decimals are more precise. Hold up. Math minds. Why were decimals invented? Because they're more precise. Decimals didn't come into being until I think it was 500 years ago. Look at Roman numerals. They didn't even have a 0. They were like, why do we need a 0? We're counting things. If there's none, there's none. Decimals didn't come into play until maybe the invention of the microscope, because they were able to see really, really small things. And why would you need a number to be really precise about small things when you couldn't even measure them? But once we got the microscope and we could see things at a really, really small level, then even the millimeter wasn't long enough to measure, or small enough to measure it. We needed really precise measurements once we could see how really small things are. Does that make sense? So decimals are more precise. But 88 and 87.92 are really close. So in this case, this is an acceptable answer. Now, you might have a problem with number 2 because it doesn't set up perfectly like this. You have to manipulate the formula. So look, if you know that the diameter is twice the radius, because the radius is from the center out, and the diameter is continuing to the other side, so it's 2 times that, then you know that this formula is also C equals, and I'm going to write it not the way it's standardly written, pi times 2 radii, right? A diameter is 2 of the r's, right? Okay, so if that's the case, and I want to know what r is, And number two, they want to know what R is. I can manipulate this to be that R equals the circumference times 2 pi. See if that makes sense. Come on, focus. If this is the formula for circumference and diameter is 2 radii, right? The radius is from the center out. If you keep going, it's the same distance. So a diameter is 2 to the radii. And I want to know what R is. Well, how do I undo what they did to R? They multiplied it by 2 pi. So I'm going to divide by 2 pi on both sides. So now, how do I find out the answer to number 2? R equals circumference divided by 2 pi. And what they give me for circumference? 150. So R equals 150 divided by 6.28. There's something to memorize. Look, if pi is 3.14, and you're going to be working with these formulas, and oftentimes to find radius, you're going to use 2 pi, then memorize that. What's 3.14 times 2? 6.28. So R equals 150 divided by 6.28. 150 divided by 6.28. And there you go.
Wait. Oh, yes. What?
Right?
Point. Yeah, that's what I started out with.
Not done yet. How many times does 628 go into 2440? Using our estimation, we would think 6 into 24, and it's going to be a little too high.
I know, 3 is 194.
That's a strange looking 8.
4. Yeah. You make all your numbers weird. Like that looks weird. The 7's way smaller than the 5. It's so small.
Yeah. Number 5. Number 5. 5b is greater than. I know I didn't finish it because you're underweight.
What? Wait, I got.
Now I got to bring down a 0.
Yeah, you can go into the next one. I'll be right down.
It's going to end up being 23.9. All right.
Oh, thanks.
Number 5. 5b is. Well, that doesn't do you any good. 5b is greater than or equal to 2 times b plus 2.25. Mitchell, what am I going to have to do with that 2 on the right? I'm going to have to distribute that through there. So, Brett, I'm going to write it. I'm not going to write what's in the book. I'm going to write the next line, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to write 5b is greater than or equal to 2b plus 4.5. This is number 5. I distributed the 2 through the parentheses, the b plus 2.25, and I got 2b plus 4.5. Zacchaeus, your job was to merge, not sputter onto the highway and then pull over to the side and go to sleep. You've got to catch up.
Yeah.
Hey, David, how do I get rid of this 2B or get the B's together? Subtract 2B from both sides. How do I get rid of the 3? You got that break in half?
No.
This is number 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that switch up? Oh, you
Subtract 2B, 2B.
Oh, yeah, that's
I get lots of texts, and I reply to the one and I choose to.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna have to actually.
Yeah, Max.
I'm just kidding. I'm so going now.
How many which times?